Hi, my name is Ben Turner and I'm going to show you a great way of replacing a sky using Elements 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this sky so it's transparent behind, pop in a new sky behind, and then bring back the haziness that we've got here just to make it a bit more realistic. Now before we can start, we need to convert this background here into a layer, and we can do that really quickly by going to Layer, New, Layer from Background, and just click OK, and you'll see at the top here now it says Layer 0. And this will support transparencies now. So how do we go about making the selection? Well, we've got a lot of lines here, a lot of strong lines across the mountain, which will make it very easy to do the Magic Wand tool, because we've got hardly any detail in the sky here. That will pick up very quickly. But we do have a little troublesome spot down here because we've got quite a lot of detail going on in the grass, and we don't want to lose that. We'll tackle that area separately. Let's just put it on screen here, and let's click on the Magic Wand tool. Let's select the main body of it first. Now for the tolerance, enter around about 20 is fine. Keep contiguous ticked, and now let's just click on the image. Now you'll notice it's only selected a chunk of it, not all of it. So hold down Shift on the keyboard. There's a little plus come up next to the cursor. You see that? And now keep on clicking on the areas that hasn't been selected. You can click around fairly quickly. A little bit over here. Click again. And there we go, we're all done. So let's just enhance this selection a bit. There's something we should do most times. We do a selection when it's hard lines like this. It's really quick. Now you can see that there's a bit of a white gap between the main body of the mountain here and the white sky. Now we can get rid of that and tighten up the selection by going to Select, Modify, Expand. Just entering 1 pixel is fine, and click OK. And you see the selection lines move in. Now we can also just soften this selection down slightly to make it really realistic, because you notice that between the actual real white sky and the mountain there's a slight soft effect. And we can get that by going to Select, Feather, entering in 0.5, which is one of the smallest numbers you can have in here, just a really tiny amount, and click OK. Can't see any difference there, but you will be able to in the end result, believe me. So let's click back on the hand tool, and almost all of our skies sorted out now, apart from this tricky bit down here. Now, as I said a minute ago, I want to keep the haziness here. I want to keep a little bit of a white haziness, because we can't completely ignore the fact that it's a very bright sky. So we can actually cheat a bit and use some of the white sky that's already here and just make it a very soften the selection here. And the easiest way to do that is with the clever selection brush tool, which is just here. So let's just click on this. Now if this is the first time you've used it, you have to change the mode up here to mask to get it looking like this. Now what's this showing us? Well, you Photoshop users may recognise this as looking very much like the Quick Mask tool, which you can access by hitting Q on your keyboard if that's what you are using, and you'd be right. The red areas here, this indicating the areas that aren't selected, the areas that are masked off, the areas that won't be affected by whatever we do next, and the areas that are normal colour, those are the areas that are selected, and the areas that will be. As you remember, we just did the quick Magic Wand tool selection over the top, and so that's what that's showing us. Now we can actually modify this selection and actually paint out some of our selection down at the bottom here, just using the brush that's built in. Now if you are using Quick Mask, you'll have to use the brush tool here. Just click on here, and then just paint across like we're going to now. So first of all, let's select a nice big brush. Actually the one we've got here selected is pretty good. It's a nice big 300 pixel soft edge brush. As you can see, there's a very smooth transition between the dark bit and the transparent bit on the outside. So let's click on there to select that, and we can leave the other settings as they are. Now let's just paint across here. We don't need to go too far up, but just enough to cover this area. So click down a few times, and there we go. You can see that the very edge here, there's this between the actual sky and now the red body here. Actually, let's just put the overlay opacity up here to really show you the difference. Between the red and the white here, we've got a very smooth selection. Now let's click on the move tool to exit that, and you'll see our selection lines jump straight back in. Now you can see our modified selection here, but all the rest of it remains exactly as it was. Now if you're using Photoshop again, just hit Q on the keyboard to get out of it and back into this mode. Okay, so now it's ready to hit delete on the keyboard to remove the sky. And let's just get rid of the selections as well so we can see what's happening. Select and deselect, and there we go. Click on hand tool to zoom screen. Our sky's gone, but we've still got a bit of haziness going on down here. Okay, so now let's put the sky in. Let's bring up our sky, double click on here, and just click on the top bar to move it across. Let's click on the move tool, and now holding down shift on the keyboard, we can just click on the sky and drag it across. You can see a black border appears around our image when we do that. That shows us that the sky is going to go in the right place. And now release. Now the sky is a bit bigger than our background, and it's actually in front of our mountains, which is obviously not what we want. So go to Layer, Arrange, and Center Back. Now we're getting there now. This needs sorting down here, but we'll do that in a second. Now I'm going to close down the sky image because that's using up valuable RAM, and we'll slow our computer down just marginally. And now let's just drag out the document a little bit so we can see the edges of this image. As I said, the sky image is a bit bigger than our mountains, so the edges of it are outside the image area, but you can see them there. Now in Elements we get our transform handles there automatically, but if you're using Photoshop, go to Edit and Free Transform. So let's just move this around a bit so we can get looking a bit better. Let's just compress that a bit. If we compress it, don't get too far because you can see the foreground creeping in there. Just going to press it to around about there, and that gives a really nice panoramic kind of feel. I'm happy with that as it is. So let's just hit Enter on the keyboard just to apply the changes. Just going through, and there we go. Now, one final thing to sort out: this haziness. It's not quite enough of it really. So click on the gradient tool from the toolbox, and then hit D followed by X on the keyboard. And you'll now notice you've actually got white as your foreground colour. That's exactly the same. Pressing D and X is exactly the same as clicking down here and then on this little arrows, for those of you who don't want to remember the shortcuts. Okay, now we've got to make sure we've got foreground to transparent selected. If we click on this little down arrow, we can see a lot of preset gradients, all different colours and all different forms. But we want this second one called foreground to transparent. As you can see, it's white going to our checkered pattern, which is invisible. So click on there. Make sure we've got transparency ticked up here, and we're ready to go. So let's hold down Shift on the keyboard, click round about here, and drag up to the peak of the mountain. By holding down Shift, it ensures we're going dead straight up, because it only allows us to lock into 45-degree angles, so that's ideal. So just releasing around about the peak of the mountain, and there we go. It adds in our haziness and blends that in perfectly. And there we go. There we have it. There's our new sky, and it looks pretty realistic. I think you'd be pushed to notice any changes that happen there. There's one final thing. We've actually got two layers here. If I bring up the layers palette, we can see we've actually got a layer 0, which is our original mountain image, then our sky image is layer 1. So let's just flatten that down by going to Layer, Flatten Image, and we're back to one single background. And there you go. Try it for yourself.